Hey guys, today is September the 27th of 2020. And I wanted to do a recap of last week's price action using Fourier analysis on the pound dollar. As you can tell my voice, I just woke up. It's early over here. And I'm trying to be quiet, so I won't make a lot of noise and wake up the kids. So let's get into it. Look at the signals that we had here. We had two signals for last week, which was the 21st and the 23rd. And like I always said, you don't use this by itself. You use this with other indicators or other techniques or other, trigger points that you use. And there was a big cluster, a lot of things I was seeing here. I was leaning more on the bullish side last week, just because a lot of stuff was more leaning for maybe a continuation to the upside. But I did notice some patterns in regards to a bear flag, and then other things that could have probably brought a big drop down. So I probably should have leaned more last week on maybe neutral, that it could go either way. And I'm kind of leaning more on same thing on this week. And I'm going to show you why. One thing to keep in mind is that we are very oversold. So this is something that if you wanted to place a bet, probabilities maybe will go up because we're very oversold, but that doesn't, rule out that we could continue pushing even lower, even though while we're oversold. So keep that in mind. So let's look, right? We already know that we're on the very oversold. So that's the position where we're in. Let's take that out so we can make some room for the stuff. So it kind of worked out. We kind of sold off here for a trigger, and we found the low on, what was it, the 23rd? Yep. And then we kind of did some sideways price action here. I got a couple of trades in there, and then I got one loss. Then the last one, Friday, I was long, but it was just so choppy. You can see by the candles, it's undecided, especially this one Friday, between the bulls and the bears. Very undecided. Very undecided here. Kind of the bulls are getting a little more momentum, but it was very tight. Great for scalping. I thought on this one we were going to go because there was a lot of stuff pointing that we could pop. But that didn't happen, and then it just closed out with a small gain. So let's look into this week coming up. Let's get a little closer so we can see what's going on. So we got Tuesday. There's I think this one is a projection turning point. These right here are overtone turning points that are coming up for this week. This is Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we had our Bradley model, and we could see that right off the bat, starting in the week, Monday, we get a hit. So very close to Tuesdays. So Monday and Tuesdays are very hot days. So keep that in mind. Using our spectrum analysis with the one overtone, or I believe it's not the overtone. Yeah, the overtone. It doesn't get confused with the harmonics. This is basic, so you can see that. I want to show you something very interesting. You notice these three bands, these three waves, projections, when they topped out here. This was a strong probability that there was going to be a top on the pound right here. When you have it kind of like this, the rubber bands are kind of like spread out. You got like the purple, magenta, and the blue kind of going here. You got the green and the red going down. It's not too clear on what the direction is coming up this week. Coming up to this week, up September 1st, the probability are stronger that we could probably get into a top. Because you got three pointing up and then starting to point down with this bigger one here, bottoming out here, but price action going up here. So chances are that we were probably going to have a little sell-off. So then you can see that the purple one followed price action, or they were both in sync. And then a turning point came here, and this cycle picked it up here. And now the cycle bottomed out here. So it's price action following the purple one. Those are the kind of questions as a trader that you will be confronted with and have to make decisions. Because everything about trading, it's all about decisions and risk. As you can see, the green one bottom out here. Price action came up here, but the green one is still going up. So price action followed the purple, and now it's topping out here with the red one. So somewhere around here, there's a big topping between the red and the green. Now with the purple and the blue, the purple tops out next week, and the blue one tops out all the way around the 14th. So there's little nuances you have to pick up within the cycle. Just wanted to point that out. So if you were to follow the purple, it says that we're probably going to have a pop. And then we're going to, at least have a short-term pop all the way to like next week. Then you can't, neglect the Fourier right here, because these are turning points. And this is where we're trying to focus. And we're using this as cycles to confirm, swing points, turning points, breakouts, that kind of stuff. So what we do is we open up our spectrum and open it up really good. We lock it down to 1010 on the MA2, MA3, just to get a little more fractal on, because we're trying to figure out what's going on for next week. And we can see right here, there's a 58, there's a 44, there's a 29, kind of more like a moon cycle right here. And then there's a 17. So these are the strongest ones I have. I also have a 57. I use other software cycle. And it shows that the 57 is a dominant cycle right now. This one doesn't show. It's right here. Sometimes it doesn't show, but sometimes, especially when you're over here with the 50, it doesn't pick it up that well. So what we do is we do a projection line on those 4 cycles. I'll let the software do its thing and then see what it says. So the cycle is pointing up all the way to Sunday, which is not going to make sense. So somehow between Friday and Monday of next week, we will have a possible top. So those are little things you got to make notes. So with the Fourier, it could be a possible top, Friday. It's not going to top out Sunday or Saturday. Or Monday, we could probably end up in the high range this week. Now that's what the projection, composite projection line is showing. That could be a possibility that we could probably go up. The next thing you want to do is using the 1 overtone, you want to add those and use a harmonic and see what you get out of that in regards to turning points. So it's doing its calculation, see what it comes up with. We're building up a case using Fourier as our background. All right, I did that. We put our turning in zones, and then let's see what we got. So right here, it's saying that there's a possible turning point on Saturday, which is the 3rd. So we'll nudge it closer to Friday. So that lines up with, let's open this up. That lines up more with Friday. So possible turning zone here or beginning of next week. So chances are this is lining up or maybe a possible uptrend. That remains to be seen. Then the next thing I want to do is get that off, go back to spectrum, and erase that. I'll take my overtones up to 6. So you see how the waves are changing? Oh, too much. I kind of call it more like a fractal analysis instead of the 1 overtone. Kind of looks, kind of in my mind, it looks like it kind of looks at it in more as a microscope, or a little more closer. So use a 6 overtone, and then we're going to see what happens here with the composite. So you see now, instead of pushing it to the weekend or Friday, now it's saying that we could probably, have a turning point around the 29th. So those are the 2. So just kind of looking at what I've done today, right now, the beginning of the week and the ending of the week are very hot. Not so much the middle. So next thing is you want to add that. You see the harmonics are more. Maybe it should be faster. Put that there. Turning point zones. And let's see what we have right here. We can minimize this. So turning point, it's hot. So Monday or Tuesday are very hot for turning points. And Friday. So what does that mean? When we open up Monday, Sunday night Monday, chances are, well, we could either just continue going sideways, nothing happens. That's something that could happen. Or we do a kind of move, a breakout. Looking at all the cycles, it could be that maybe we explode, some kind of news or whatnot, or whatever, it just goes up because we're just so oversold. And we top out here and then maybe continue maybe to the downside. or we continue all the way to Friday and then continue to the downside. So either or, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday are the super hot zones that I've noticed. But like I said, price action is going to dictate what's going to happen. And then with the projection line, it's saying, Monday, Tuesday, and towards the end of the week, beginning next week. But they're pointing up. These are pointing up. Like I said, when we use the overtone, we should keep that in mind. One, there's 4 and 2 are in opposite, views. So it could be a little tricky. Now, one thing to consider too is that, this is maybe a B, C, and C hasn't finished yet correction. 1, 2, 3, and maybe, or an ABC, and C is probably even lower. And that's why maybe we're going to maybe pop, or from here, which, Fourier, it just says that there's a turning point. It either could be, if we were going up and we were coming down, if last week's price action was that we were going higher, and now this week starts, then this could be, the possibilities could be greater that maybe this is a turning point and we push lower. But since we didn't really do much last week, just kind of more inside trading, and between these this was Friday was just a little more breakout, but then we closed right back in the middle, showing, undecided where they want to take it. Monday could be where there could just be a breakout, and it could be a false breakout, and then maybe continue down, or we could continue going up till Friday, and see what happens next week. Maybe we turn. But those are the things I'm noticing. Let me see if there's anything else. Let's get all this off. Let's get this projection, and let's just look at seasonality, and then we'll end it. So what I use on seasonality, I use the annual, decimal. That one I make it thicker because I feel like that's more important. And then you got the fast, mid, and I leave it like that. Those are my settings. Sometimes I pop in the 10-year cycle. Sometimes that Gann says that the 10-year cycle, sometimes price action moves within, that average, fluctuates. But I have it there in the background. I don't want to confuse anyone. So let's see what the seasonalities are showing us. These are topping out here. And there's this one right here, which is the fast one. Fast annual is pointing upward. And the decimal is pointing upward. And it tops out next week. So that's the only thing I've noticed, that it tops out next week. So one bottoms out. So it's, it looks like the spectrum. Very, there's 2 up, there's 2 down. None of them are really in sync. So it's hard to decide here. So nothing really helping us out. What you want to do is you want to follow price action for next week. But these are the turning points, the 29th. So whatever price action does, these are the ones. And then there's one in the middle of the week, which is one of the Fourier projection line that points up here, which is that's a Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere around there. Hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on next week's forecast. Let's see what happens with this week, and maybe we could get a better clue for next week. Hope you like this video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you again using Fourier Gann theory.